Hey, welcome back. I'm Jason, or Man Who Parks and Gym, and today I'm going to talk about the Speediance Gym Monster 2. And the reason I'm talking about it is because Speediance sent me the Gym Monster 2 and all of the accessories in exchange for my time and expertise with home gym equipment, and of course my willingness to talk about it in front of a camera and post it online for people like you to watch so you can make more informed decisions. And even though Speediance is one of those companies that wants to review your content for accuracy before you publish it, I agreed to do it because I used it at Home Gym Con and I was genuinely intrigued by some of the features included with the Speediance. And from the demonstration, I could see how beneficial digital resistance could be in the home gym. So, this is not an objective review, but rather kind of a nerdy dive into some of the features that drew me to the Speediance to begin with. Now, real quick, even though I went over this a little bit in my initial impressions video, I'm going to assume by my watch count that you probably haven't seen that, and you probably won't go back and watch it either. So let me just briefly explain what the Gym Monster 2 is before I start rambling on and on about its features. So, the Gym Monster 2 is kind of a high-end multi-purpose home gym solution that uses electronic resistance instead of traditional weight plates. You can think of it like you would think of a functional trainer, like a cable machine where you can do a multitude of workouts on it and it's designed so it doesn't take up a ton of space. And because it's a freestanding unit, you don't have to bolt it to a wall or bolt it to the ground or bolt it anywhere else that you might think you would need to bolt a home gym, but it's got wheels on it, so you can move it around if you need to, move it out of the way, or whatever you need to do. And it's not going to look like you're holding a powerlifting meet in your living room when you have family come over. So let's talk about those features I mentioned earlier. I think the thing I like the most about it, and this is something that I've really taken to since I received it, and it's kind of something I always feel like I'm missing in my regular analog home gym, and that is the integrated smart system with the onboard user interface. It's the workout library and the way that it all kind of works together in unison. I find that it provides an increased intensity, and it's just a lot easier for me to stay focused with the way that it times my rest periods or automatically starts the next set. It counts your reps and things like that. So if the trainer happens to finish before you do, it's going to wait for you to finish your set. You know what I mean? Like if you've ever tried to follow something like one of those old pre-recorded like beach body videos when they finish before you either have a tendency to like rush. Hold on. I have a tendency to rush my set, or I'll just sometimes skip the rest of them altogether and just move on to the next exercise. So my focus kind of becomes keeping up with the video or staying within the allotted time frame to finish the workout or something, and less on, the intensity of finishing my set or something like that. So say what you will about cookie cutter workout programs, and I don't necessarily disagree. They're definitely not for everyone, but they are great for many people who don't know where to begin, or maybe don't have as much of a handle on the basics, or just don't want to dedicate brain power to it, or maybe they don't have access to a personal trainer in their home, right? Things like doing a pre-written program is really a good place to start, and this one has a lot of those to choose from. I think they cover pretty much every discipline, maybe not strongman or powerlifting, although there are some powerlifting movements. I haven't seen a strongman movement in there yet of what I've been playing with, but it does, like I said, cover every discipline across a multitude of experience levels. They do take it a step further with their Wellness Plus program, but to be completely clear, I haven't had this thing long enough to get bored with the built-in or the free programming to where I've felt like I've even needed to consider the Wellness Plus. I do know from a little bit of research that I've done that it goes beyond the personalized AI tailored workouts, and it'll allow you to track food and sleep and other things that are equally important to achieving a fitness goal. I just haven't really been inclined to explore it any further in the time that I've owned the Gym Monster 2. Like I mentioned earlier, something else that I've noticed I'm seeing in my Speediance workouts that I know I've been lacking in my analog home gym is a sense of intensity in my workouts. I get sidetracked, I get distracted. Sometimes I feel like I spend more time playing with gym equipment, and I don't always leave the workout feeling like I gave it everything I had. I know I'm the worst, and I'm not suggesting that the Gym Monster 2 is the solution to lazy workouts or your inability to stay focused or put forth effort. I mean, to be fair, it is just as easy to skip a workout on this thing as it is to skip any other workout. But I really do find that once I commit to the workout for that day, I have an easier time staying in it mentally and pushing myself a little bit harder than what I know I've been doing in my self-guided workouts for a really long time. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that. Whatever. Let's take a closer look at the user interface, and we'll go through a few of the basic features that I've been using to get the most out of the Gym Monster 2 for the past few months. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to apologize in advance for those who care about the change in video and audio quality, different camera, different mic, different setting. So that out of the way, let's take a look at the Gym Monster 2 and some of the features that I have found to be useful. Like I said, I really like the user interface. I like how easy it is. This is kind of what you look at when you first log in after you've already set up your profile and things like that. You notice I've got two different profiles, one for me and one for my wife. You just kind of select the profile that you want to use, start training, and this is going to be your main dashboard. It kind of shows you, it's like I said, it's pretty user friendly and easy to follow, but it shows you your last 7 days of data. You can look through a record of workout for even, go back more than recent 7 days or further back. This body overview, I haven't done anything with that. I think it has to do with the Wellness Plus, or if you have the smart scale. Speediance has a smart scale that integrates also with this and with the app, and it'll put all that information in there with you. It gives you kind of an overview of your workout for today or the last however many days, and so on and so forth, right? So you have all this data at your disposal, and like I said, you can kind of drill it down and get a bigger deep dive into that stuff as well. This section here has more to do with the Wellness Plus. Like I mentioned earlier, I haven't done anything with the Wellness Plus other than looking into it or scrolling past the endless number of spams that they give you when you first log in to try to get you to sign up for Wellness Plus. Down here in this section, it's going to give you a recommended workout every time you log into it. If you're signed up for a program, which I just completed one, so I'm not, it'll show you what is coming up in your current program. And if you have things that are scheduled out, it'll show that here. I don't have any workouts scheduled, so mine's blank. Down here is kind of a banner that shows you basically it's advertisement stuff for them. Now they also do like this here, this Lunar Flow. This is kind of cool. This is kind of the more community-based type things where it gives you kind of goals to work through. This one here, like for bronze, platinum, and gold or whatever, it will have to do with like over a duration of time, workouts completed. It'll store and update all of your data for how many pounds you've lifted or something like that. And then each one has its own set of accomplishments through that. And then down at the bottom is where you can see where you get like your free lift. This is where your workout library is. Like I said, that right now it shows there's 508. They do add to that from time to time. And then custom, you can create your own custom workouts too and store those in there. I have not done that. I've just been using the workouts that are like, sometimes I'll go in and I'll do just like a free lift, like I actually did this yesterday, or I'll go into a workout and I'll just pick one, right? So like, for example, if I come in one day, and this is the workout library, like I said, this is one of the things that I've really feel like has been helpful for me. I like having all this at my disposal, even though I'm not ever going to use all 508 of them. I like having a larger library means that there's going to be a higher likelihood of workouts that I do enjoy doing. So you can, again, up here, starting at the top, there are 91 different programs that use that kind of compile these workouts into easier to digest program and easier to follow program. And then also 815 different movements make up each of these programs or these workouts, right? So you can drill it down by program. You can choose between 6, 12, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever duration you're comfortable with. You can also do it by movements. If there's a certain movement that you want to do or something like that, you can go through and pick something and filter down based on that. Or if you know there's a specific one, you can search it with the little magnifying glass. Also, up top, you can see here, I like the way that it's easy to choose here. You can pick out whether if it's new or popular. You can choose by your experience level, beginner, intermediate, or advanced. You can also drill it down by duration. If you know you only have 20 to 30 minutes or something like that to do a workout, or something greater than 30 minutes, you can choose that, and it will, like if I choose a 10 to 20, confirm, it's going to reduce the number of options that I have down to those that duration fit within that time frame, right? Pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to follow. And then you have what I think is cool, even more features. So let me clear that. So you can choose it, like if I know I want to come in and I want to do like a chest day or a shoulder day or something like that, you can drill it down by shoulders, you can drill it down by accessories. You know, if you know you don't have certain accessories or something like that, you can pick the ones that you do have or do want to use and confirm, and it will then drill it down based on those workouts that utilize those things within your filters, right? So pretty cool. Like I said, same thing all along down the side. If there's certain, you know, you want to do cardio or whatever, you just select from there and it will pick out different exercises or programs or whatever that meet that criteria, which I think is pretty cool. And like I said, really easy to follow, easy to find, and just kind of get started in that way. Now, something that I would suggest if you do have, you know, if you do end up getting one of these, and just to kind of get started immediately, go through something like Freelift and kind of familiarize yourself with some of the different features. Like I said, in this, anytime on the Freelift dashboard up top is going to be your current workout, right? And then you've got your different dynamic weight settings. Standard is pretty self-explanatory, right? This is standard. Chain is going to be where it gets heavier at the top. Eccentric, it's going to get heavier at the bottom of the lift or the reverse of the lift. Like if you're doing like just say for example, if we're doing like a barbell curl or a dumbbell curl or something, when I say heavier at the top, I mean like as you on chain, as you're lifting the weight, it gets heavier. The you know, the more you squeeze, and then eccentric, it's the other way. Like so, instead of like on the way down, it gets heavier, and the thought process is that you're going to control the weight as it goes down. This is supposed to be really good for bodybuilding and things like that. And then fixed speed, which I actually don't even use that. I haven't yet anyway. Accessory, you're going to choose between dumbbell and barbell. And really what that means is that on a barbell, it's going to assume that both of these connection points are connected to the barbell. So if you have it on barbell and you try to choose one, it's going to throw the machine off and it's going to tell you that, you know, that the barbell is uneven or something like that and wants you to adjust. So make sure that you select the correct dumbbell or barbell workout when you're doing a free lift. And then for your partner, this is so that if you have two people working out on the machine at the same time, you can do that and it will allow you to do that. But assist mode is going to be, so you've got a mode 1 and a mode 2, and it's just basically going to be the level of assistance that it gives. And it's going to be when the machine recognizes that you're struggling a little bit with your workout or whatever, it will reduce the amount of resistance to help you get through your lifts. So pretty cool. This power wattage thing is going to show you both left and right, whether, you know, if like you have a muscle imbalance or a strength imbalance or something from one side to the other, it's going to show you that on here. And then also it'll record, so it'll show you like as you're struggling and things like that. And so it gives you a visual that I think is really cool because it helps you to stay explosive or stay, you know, consistent from one rep to the next, and really kind of monitor you in the moment while you're working out, which is something that I don't get from my analog weights, right? Down here is going to be this is where you choose your weight or resistance, and then also your left and right reps, and this counter will just continue unless you reset it for each set or something like that on the free lift mode. Okay, so let me just do a couple of things here and kind of show you what I'm talking about, and also understanding whether if it's free lift or any of the others, you use this. I mentioned this in my other video, which I also acknowledge you probably haven't seen, but it uses this little ring. So I'll turn it on and it automatically connects really easy. And you can see from the ring, you just adjust the weight up or down, and then to turn it on. So I've got it on dumbbell and standard. Just going to connect one of the handles here. Okay. So this is without resistance. It's got a little bit just to kind of keep it when it's turned on. Okay, so I've got a handle hooked up here, and I've got, you'll notice with this, you just press a button that's gonna turn the weight on. And then like I said, I've got this is 25 pounds. I don't even know, I'm just moving here, whatever. But you can see here, I've got the left, that's where I'm talking about the power, shows you your power output, and then you can, if you watch it there, it'll show you a different, so you can kind of watch that to monitor rep counter. You can reset it if it's whatever, and it keeps your total over here still. So if you're doing different sets or whatever. Okay, so that was just like I said, a really quick look at just the free lift. Now, for programs and workouts and things like that, I would absolutely recommend those, and I can't imagine you buying this thing without doing them. But before you do, something I wanted to show you that I would recommend also is to do your strength assessment first. Okay, and to do that, so hold on, sorry. Do your strength assessment first. The reason for that is because this is how the machine is going to be able to gauge what your starting weight is, which is something that is difficult for even the most advanced lifters in an analog setting or anything anywhere else. It's going to help you determine how much weight to increase as you progress for things like accommodating resistance and progressive overload. So to do that, you'll just click your profile picture up there, click it again. It's going to take you to your profile, okay? And then again, you will hit this profile picture, and you can see this is where it's got your avatar, your name, your height, weight, all that stuff. And then down next to the very bottom is your strength assessment. Okay, and you'll just go through a series of lifts, like a bench press. There'll be like shoulder raise, bent over rows, deadlifts, and things like that. And it will determine from there kind of what your strength assessment is. Okay, so I just recently did mine. You can do this as often as you want to, and it's a good way for you to track your progress and track your increasing strength and things like that. And then, like I said, it uses this data to help you determine how much weight to start with and how much weight to add for each additional exercise and things like that. So very useful, very helpful, and it is kind of one of the things that sets this apart from even using like an app with a workout program on an analog or a regular gym setup. It's kind of one of the things that I think sets these things apart. So once you've done that, then you should go in and check out your workouts and stuff. I'm just gonna pick one to kind of show you. So once you've done your assessment, you can go in and join a program, or I'm just going to pick a workout here to kind of show you some of the things that I'm talking about in the overview here. But when you hit your filters, like say for example, if we choose an arm day, it changes. You notice that it goes from 508 total workouts down to there are 95 workouts that are just arm specific. And then it'll drill it down. I'm just going to pick one, this first one. When you do this, the very first time you do one, it takes a minute for it to load. And then after that, each time you do that, after that, it's going to be much quicker. So we'll hit the start button.
Hey everyone, what's good? I hope you're well.
And I'm just going to skip past some of this because we don't want to hear this guy. Okay, so clearly I've moved past a few workouts just to get to something I could use for a demonstration, and obviously I'm not doing the same movement that he is. What I want you to notice here is what I'm talking about whenever I say when they get to the end of their set, if I'm not finished, it will wait for you, which I think is pretty cool, and then we'll also look at the countdown that it does on the time, the rest period.
Stay in the front, put the heels up against the workout area, and chest up, with a slight bend in the elbow. Arms stiff, coming up, raising the elbows up to shoulder height, and slowly down. Okay, 15 reps this time, guys. Turn on the weights. Get ready to go. And 1, 2. So we want to relax that scapula, so we're not squeezing our neck like this to the top. Down.
Okay, you see here he's about finished. It tells me I rested too long, which I did. I just sat here and waited.
Have a good rest, guys.
Okay.
Stay those shoulders. Get ready for the next step.
So you see this here, it stops and says, let's finish this training set. You got this. It's because I still have 2 more reps to go. He's finished. So this is like a pretty good encouragement for me to continue on, right? For me, it's like, I'm not gonna stop. So we'll do our last 2 reps. And then it goes into, this is the countdown timer. So you've got 57 seconds to stare at your phone, eat cookies and donuts or whatever you do in between sets at your house. And these are the things, like I said, when I'm in my gym, if I don't have a countdown timer or something like that, I will get sidetracked. And sometimes I do play around a little bit too long. So this is something that's cool because even, and we'll wait these 30 seconds or whatever, but as it goes through, it doesn't ask you, are you ready or whatever. You can, if you need to extend the time, there's 15-second extension there. You can also skip it if you want to, manually, you can do that. Here we waited through the timer and it just goes right back into it, right? So now you're ready to go and he doesn't waste any time, just gets right back into it. So for me, that is one of those things that is very helpful for me in maintaining my intensity. Okay, that was the worst demonstration, I know. So if you're interested in getting a full demonstration from somebody who is a little bit better at showing the ins and outs of the Speediance Gym Monster 2, join the Speediance Facebook community and check out my guy Matt Fish, okay? He is one of their ambassadors. He's in the Facebook community and he's on it. He's always willing to help and ready to get people on track. Okay, so that's kind of the basic rundown of how I've been using the Gym Monster 2. And I'm sure I've barely scratched the surface, but so far I've been really happy with the interface and the features it provides. I like the footprint. I like that it's unassuming as it sits in the study of my home. And I like that I can just turn it on and it's ready to go at any time. Okay, I also want to leave you with this before I log off. I have a lot of experience with old school analog weights, and I believe that both digital and analog resistance do have their place in the home gym. And with that being said, I don't have a lot of expertise when it comes to all-in-one digital resistance home gym systems beyond the Gym Monster 2. So I don't want to give anyone the impression that I'm here to try to sell you on digital resistance over analog or even the Gym Monster 2 over any of its competitors. I'm not. In fact, I'm not even sharing the affiliate link that they provided me. I know I'm dumb and I'm going about this all wrong if I ever want to see a return on the time, effort, and energy I put into content creation. But if you do decide to make a purchase with Speediance, I would recommend looking out for deals on Amazon. Look directly through the Speediance website, especially during Black Friday, as they historically, this is the best time to purchase from Speediance. And even though I'm not sharing my affiliate link in this video, I always want to encourage others to support those content creators who do dedicate their time and knowledge to helping people like you stay informed or make more informed decisions. So I recommend that you check out a couple of my buddies who have also reviewed the Gym Monster 2, the Iron Clinic, and also Design Build Lift, for example. All right, that's it for now. Join me next time when I probably go full scorched earth on the Speediance weight bench. Okay, that's a little hyperbole, but I'm a total bench snob and I do have a lot to say about it. In the meantime, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.